Step 1. Managerial Commitment. Pep Guardiola extended his contract until 2027.
Pep, congratulations on the new deal.
Ensuring that there's stability in the leadership of the club. In fact, Pep is more committed to Man City than anything else in his life, considering reports indicated that his decision to sign the contract was a factor in his divorce. As Future once said in Mask Off, chase a check, never chase a... well, I can't say the word, so let's just say it starts with B and rhymes with which. According to reports, Pep's wife complained about him working too much, and honestly, have you seen Pep? He was probably bringing up tactics during dinner. I actually got some leaked footage of Pep at dinner in his house when he was asked to pass the mashed potato. Imagine going to his house and asking him where the bathroom is just to get a lecture about how inverted fullbacks don't work anymore.
Because they have 3 central defender closers, the 2 holding midfielder, related move closers, the pockets closers. They have...
Anyways, Pep is one of the most successful and influential managers in the history of football. Him staying means that Manchester City continue with a winning formula that has brought them unprecedented domestic and European success, including multiple Premier League titles, FA Cup, and of course, the historic treble. Now there's not going to be constantly rumors about Pep wanting to get up and leave Manchester City so they can actually build for the future. Guardiola's impact goes way beyond results for the club. His style of play, youth development, and tactical innovations are now deeply embedded in the club's philosophy. Think about it, there are kids growing up that are only going to connect Pep Guardiola with Manchester City. They're not going to remember his Barcelona days. The same way that Arsene Wenger is seen as Mr. Arsenal, and how Sir Alex Ferguson is seen as the heart and soul of Manchester United, Pep is going to be seen as Mr. Manchester City. Extending his tenure means that he can develop his philosophy even more, have an even bigger impact within the next few years. This also makes it way easier to attract top players because those guys know Pep isn't going anywhere. His reputation as a world-class coach makes Manchester City a very attractive destination. Step 2. Keeping Holland. Now that Pep is here to stay, the next step was to retain the services of one of the club's best players, Erling Holland. They've basically secured this guy for the next decade with a record-breaking contract. It really shows the club's ambition and focus on long-term dominance. Because there was a quote from Holland and his dad a while ago that they had a lot of respect for the way Zlatan went about his career. Zlatan, he was moving like Genghis Khan. He would go to one country, dominate there, win the league, and then move on to another country. Because of those comments from Holland, there was always this fear that he would get bored at Man City and want to go to another country, different league, and dominate there. But now, City are showing the world that there's nowhere else to go. They're at the top of world football. They single-handedly turned the Premier League into a farmers league. Now, when most top Premier League players leave England, they either go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern Munich like Harry Kane. But Holland's already played in Germany. He's not going to go back there. And he can't go to Madrid because Mbappe's there, so Barca was the only option. But with him signing this big contract, that move is highly unlikely. Plus, I'm sure he wants to actually get registered, so why would he go to Barca? Barcelona fans, calm down, I'm kidding. I know they're back to 1-to-1 ratio. You know, I gotta mock Laporta and the gang. This extension sends a message to the world. City securing the services of the best striker in world football. He got 50 plus goals in all competitions in his first season. They don't win the treble without him. Then in the next season, another golden boot as City won the Premier League. And even in the nightmare season of 2025, he's probably going to end up winning the golden boot again. Yes, despite City being allergic to winning, Holland has still been at the top of the goal scoring charts. It shows you how good this guy is. I genuinely do think he's an irreplaceable asset because when you look in the world of football, there are not that many top strikers. You could maybe argue that Harry Kane is slightly better because he's less reliant on service from others, but given Holland's age, he's only going to get better, so he's a much more valuable asset. Now City can build their squad properly knowing that their striker position is locked down. A young, world-class player that can lead this team for however long his contract is. And the great thing about Holland is that his popularity goes way beyond the footballing pitch. His marketability and global appeal make him a key figure for the club's branding and sponsorship deals. By retaining him, he strengthens Manchester City's position as one of the world's most attractive football brands. Now, a 9.5-year deal, it's unprecedented. I know Chelsea went on that run in the summer where they just kept signing people for a decade, but you don't see this kind of stuff in football. You see it in, Major League Baseball. But it shows just how confident the club is in Holland because they believe that he will take care of his body, that he will maintain his top-level form for a while. The contract likely includes performance-related bonuses such as for goal tallies, individual awards like the Ballon d'Or, and team success in the Premier League and the Champions League. Now, there's no guarantee that Holland sees out his entire contract, but at least in this way, City don't end up in the situation that Liverpool are in where their best player is without a contract and he might not stay. Step 3. Bringing in new faces. In the process of developing the team, 3 big signings were made. Omar Marmoush was signed to reinforce the attack. Vitor Reis, a promising Brazilian defender, was signed for £29.6 million. Abdulkadir Husanov, a young Uzbek center back, was signed for £33.5 million. With the team struggling and players aging, it was time to bring in some fresh legs. Marmoush began his professional career in Egypt before moving to Europe, where he played for Wolfsburg and had loan spells at St. Pauli and Stuttgart. He joined Frankfurt in 2023, where he made a significant impact by scoring 37 goals and providing 20 assists in 67 appearances. You might have seen clips of his celebration with the mask. This guy, he's very versatile, very fast. He can play on the wing, he can play up top by himself, he can play in a 2-striker setup. On top of his excellent pace, he's also got great dribbling skills, can take set pieces, and has an eye for goal. Think about this guy as the Egyptian Julian Alvarez. Vitor Reis is a young Brazilian center back from Palmeiras. He made his senior debut in 2023 and quickly got attention due to his composed defensive performances and tactical intelligence. This guy is basically the Brazilian John Stones. Long and lanky legs to make tackles, super composed on the ball, able to score from set pieces. This guy is very mature beyond his years when it comes to leadership and footballing IQ. I wouldn't be shocked to see Pep use this guy in midfield. Then of course you have Husanov. Husanov started his career in Belarus, where he showcased his potential. He then signed with Lens in July of 2023, becoming the first Uzbek player in Ligue 1. His performances in both domestic and European competitions, including the Champions League, showed just how rapid his development was. Like, this guy went from someone that nobody knew to a starter in a top 5 league very quickly. He is super fast and very physical. I cannot wait to see this guy's first let him know you're there tackle in the Premier League. These signings show what Manchester City's strategy is. It's to get young players that can help now but can continue to get better, and to also get players that are versatile, meaning they can play in a multitude of positions at a high level. Step 4. Change in leadership. City are going to have to adapt to the leadership change in their footballing operations. City's director of football, Chiki Begiristain, is stepping away. The Spaniard had wanted to step back from day-to-day operations when he turned 55, but he was so invested into the City project and working with Pep that he had extended that to his 60th birthday. Guardiola and Chiki have enjoyed a close relationship ever since the pair met as teammates during their playing days at Barcelona. Guardiola was actually named as Frank Rijkaard's successor in 2008 after receiving the backing of Chiki over other leading candidates like Jose Mourinho. Chiki had joined City in October of 2012, and under his leadership, City had dominated world football. It was the Spaniard who had brought in Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Ederson, Kyle Walker, Raheem Sterling, Ruben Dias, and more. Thanks to his recruitment, City had elevated to another level. His successor is Hugo Viana. Hugo was the director of football for Sporting. He was the mastermind behind the decision to appoint Ruben Amorim, a manager who at the time seemed untested. The Portuguese has a great eye for talent. It was him who brought Bruno Fernandes and Nuno Mendes to Sporting. Viana's track record of good player recruitment and development aligns well with Manchester City's philosophy, allowing them to maintain their club's competitive edge both domestically and in Europe. If you guys are wondering where I get all of this information from, you gotta check out my Patreon. If you want to know things that your friends don't know about, be ahead of the curve, and just improve your ball knowledge, click on the link in the description. Step 5. Tactical evolution. Pep has always adapted and refined his tactics to stay at the top, and now he's gonna have to do it again.
And I still have to adjust some things, a few things, but hopefully it can happen.
Many of the players are aging, and the system cannot be this reliant on one player like Rodri. The new signings are great, but they still need a central midfielder, someone that can add more physicality in the middle of the park. Because the sole pivot works with Rodri, but there are not that many players in the world that can do that role that well. Even before Rodri, realistically, the only other player that I saw really excelling in that sole pivot role was Sergio Busquets. City are going to have to go and recruit some elite midfielders. I'm talking about midfielders who are not just good on the ball, but very good physically. And what's funny is I think this is something that City had identified years ago. It's why they were in the market for Rice and Bellingham. I think Pep knew that he needed a physical number 8 on top of Rodri to really keep City's dominance. But after Rice went to Arsenal and Bellingham went to Real Madrid, City didn't find alternatives. And because they kept winning, I think it papered over the cracks that were showing in their midfield. Because Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, these guys are slowing down, so fresh legs are required. It's a shame that Morgan Rogers was sold from the academy because he would have been perfect for this team. Like I said, Pep is realizing that you cannot dominate games with just technical players in the center of the park. You're going to get bullied, and more importantly, you're going to get destroyed on the transition.
Today the modern football is the way the Bournemouth play, the Newcastle play, like Brighton play, like Liverpool was something like that, like we were. It's the modern football. Today the modern football is not, positional and being there. You have to rise the rhythm unbelievably. It could not.
Pep is also looking to find a way to maintain possession-based dominance while incorporating more verticality and directness for players like Holland. Because despite the number of goals the Norwegian has scored, I think there's another level that he can reach to if Pep starts playing more towards his strengths. They gotta get him more service in the box, and I think players like Marmoush and Savinho, they can help with that. Step 6. Infrastructure and fan engagement. City are looking to get bigger both on and off the pitch. They're adding a North Stand expansion to the Etihad Stadium, adding capacity to exceed 60,000 seats with enhancements like rail seatings, family zones, and premium seating options, including a sky bar. They're also looking to develop the Etihad campus, construction of a fan zone with a capacity of 3,000 people, development of a 400-bed hotel, adding in a museum and an upgraded club shop. These enhancements aim to create a better community space and really elevate the matchday experience for fans. City clearly need a rebuild, but Pep, he has a plan. The plan should have started way earlier, but when you keep winning, you don't really think about changing stuff. This is the toughest challenge so far in Pep Guardiola's career. Can he rejuvenate City back to the top? He's never lost this much, but hopefully the new signings can help him out. I didn't go into that much detail on the new signings because I have a separate video that outlines where they came from, what are their pros and cons, how good are they, and it's all in this video right here. You gotta check it out.